I have been speaking to the Board of Health for over 12 months about myself and my little sister and my neighbors. I have been speaking at the City Council for 18 months. I have spoken in support of state bills to protect people from wireless harm and spoken in favor of citywide protections for cell tower setbacks so what happened in Shacktown never happens again. As a young person, I am told that children are our future. Children are our most precious resource. Children are tomorrow's leaders. But when I speak, no one responds. Literally, no one speaks to me. So I turn up every 2 weeks or every month and I write my comments and I write our legislators and I write our president and the one before him, and not once has anyone ever at all written back. I have spoken about what it feels like to get sick in my own home and to literally be so dizzy I have walked into walls. I have shared with you all what it was like being dragged to awful open houses of old smelly homes that I did not want to live in when our own home was made uninhabitable. I have shared with you my pink vomiting bucket and all the medicines I had to take to manage symptoms. Symptoms that simply went away when I slept on the floor of a 100-year-old rundown cottage. And I shared with you that not only did I lose my childhood to raising awareness of this issue, I lost my mom to it because all she does is try to help us get home and help our neighbors get the support they need. I shared with you how we lived for months without plumbing and had to go home to shower and to do laundry. But I still don't think you understand how awful it has been, because not once has anyone looked me in the eye and said, we are going to make this right. Not for me or for my sister or Hannah or Connor or Stella or any of the other kids in my neighborhood. I lost my health and got a diagnosis of an environmentally induced illness that could have been totally avoided. I lost my neighbors. I lost my home. I lost any sense of normalcy. Do you think kids my age talk about harm from pulsed microwave radiation? Do you think anyone my age understands? I don't expect them to. But I do expect that the grown-ups in charge of protecting our health understand. You are the Board of Health, and with that comes the power to protect our health. Pittsfield has an equity, diversity, and inclusion officer for a reason. Mr. Michael Obashan is here with me tonight because he believes that those with a disability, a medical diagnosis, should not be ignored and should not feel worthless. Our city is stronger when we stand with and stand up for each other and include all voices. Please, I am begging you, issue the cease and desist tonight for all of us. Thank you.
Thank you, Amelia.
But I support these people. I've known these people. I've been a school nurse. I knew them when they were healthy and happy, and I've seen what has happened over the past 2 years, and it breaks my heart. And tonight I have a letter from Elaine Ireland. She's in Texas, and she's asked me to read a letter that she wrote. My name is Elaine Ireland. I live at 15 Alma Street. But for the last 2 months, I've been in Texas to get away from the tower. And before then, I stayed in my house to get away from I stayed away from my house to get away from the tower. Who lives like this? Who gets sick simply by being in their own home? How is it okay that how is it okay that to feel healthy, I have to leave and go elsewhere? I was hoping that 62 days ago, when the board took that unanimous vote to issue the order, that I would be able to go home. As of tonight, I can't. I'm watching from Texas, and I'm begging you to please issue the order tonight. I don't understand why it has taken so long to get any help to our neighborhood, and what is holding this up when you know people are suffering. I lived at Elma Street for 14 years and was always healthy. When the tower was turned on, I started to get headaches when I never had headaches before. I began to suffer insomnia. Sleep had never been a problem. I developed persistent ringing in my ears. I experienced brain fog when I am home and have felt unwell. I know you know as I share this with you, with the city council, with the media, with the reporters, for how many months? How many more months are we going to have to beg you to take urgent action on our behalf? If I was your daughter, your sister, your mother, would you act with urgency? If you had to see what the neighborhood have to live with and how we have been impacted, you would find the courage to do your job to protect public health and safety? I believe you would. My husband John also experiences ringing in his ears, headache, and insomnia. He travels for work and has noticed the difference from when he's away from home and what happens when he comes home, and the ringing is definitely connected to being home near the cell tower. At this point in my life, I feel like I'm being forced to start over. If I'm having short-term problems with my health now, why would I want to stick around for long-term ones? To think that Verizon could take my home from me like this is devastating. To think the city has known about people being sick since August of 2020 is even more devastating. What are any of us to do but to look to you for help? Verizon acts like we are collateral damage, like we are little people whose lives and homes don't matter. It just adds insult to injury. We are hardworking, conscientious, tax-paying citizens. We deserve to be protected. It is the city's job to protect us. It is your duty. You have the power. I know I've asked you this many times before, but tonight, please protect our health and show us that you have the will. Tonight, please do your job, do the job you have promised to do, and protect us by honoring your unanimous vote. Issue the cease and desist order that is before you. Thank you for your time and attention. And I'm just going to leave this letter.
Thank you, Ann.
It's time to move on, move the process along in whatever shape, form it's going to take. But we need to have the city stand behind the citizens of our neighborhood and the constituents of the city. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Peter.
You've seen the evidence. You know that we are in trouble. I don't think there's anybody that deny that. I know Verizon has probably told you that everything's safe, but it's not. All I'm here to do is just ask you, please put in the cease and desist order so that our lives can get back together, back the way they were. My wife and I can retire where we are and have a relatively healthy life. Thank you.
Thank you for allowing me to speak tonight, and for everyone. I know it's hard for you to listen to it over and over and again, but it's hard for us to live it over and over again. I have another letter from a neighbor. We were going to read it out loud, but we won't to save time. But I do ask that you please read it in your executive session tonight. Read it out loud and hear those words of how people have been impacted by this tower. That letter was sent to Gina Armstrong and Dr. Kuhlberg. I don't know if it was ever forwarded to you. I don't know if you have half of the letters in the neighborhood. My name is Courtney Gilardi. I live at 17 Alma Street, but because of being sickened by the Verizon cell tower, I don't live and I haven't lived in my home for over a year. I have a storage unit. I have a laundromat, but I don't have a home. And I know how hard that you're working to learn about this issue and to take action on our behalf, and I thank you for that. And I hope you know that I come to you, as I do every time we have a Board of Health meeting, with gratitude for your care and compassion and the dignity and the solution-oriented approach that you have taken from the beginning in requesting that Verizon take this tower down. And I only wish that Verizon and the Farley White Corporation could come to the table. I wish that they could see that we are not backing down and that we're not going away and that we are asking for what every single one of you wants and is asking for, which is to simply be safe in your own home. I don't know what else we can do. We'll turn up week after week. We'll keep sharing peer-reviewed science. We'll keep asking doctors to speak and experts to speak. I know you've heard from Dr. Goldberg, from Dr. Haro, from Dr. Havas, Dr. Herbert, Dr. Chamberlain, Dr. Russell. Dr. Johansson wrote a letter on our behalf today, and it was sent to each of you. We just had another community forum last week with Dr. Martin Paul. All of these experts are here for you. For over 18 months, we've had to publicly come before you and share our personal symptoms. My 7-page health report gets passed around the table with details of my health history in public. People have had to move. People are ignored. We can provide you with letters and testimony, but not everyone wants to turn up here as I do and share publicly and disclose, because that's a hard thing to do. And it's a hard thing to do to be ridiculed or to feel like if I'm being ignored, why would their voices be heard any louder than mine? We have been told that we are people of low value, each and every one here, that we are collateral damage, that we are the cost of doing business, that we are a waste of taxpayers' dollars. I have been asking the City Council and the people in leadership for funding for over a year to help our neighborhood. I have been asking for hotel vouchers so that they do not need to eat up their retirement savings or leave their homes or sleep in cars or in tents. I have been asking for shielding canopies. I don't know what use they are, but at least it's something to try. We've been asking for our state representative for funds to go the route that Delaware Beach did. They found the money first, and then Verizon came to the table second. No one has responded. No one does this perhaps because it's political. But we turn up not because it's political, but because we are hurting. I'm not asking you to take away my environmental illness or to make every place safe for me. I'm just asking that the order be issued so that the next chapter can begin. We know that there is a next chapter. I know you can't promise us anything about what happens after that, but I can promise you that there are all of the resources and the very best scientific and medical minds, all of the best counsel and support that is there for you. Not only do you have this community watching, you have the eyes of the world. Because there's safe technology groups in every state because so many people are harmed. And our hands are not tied, and we know that now. We know the powers of the Board of Health. Please don't delay and look to these people. Listen to Elaine, listen to Pete, listen to my daughter, listen to my neighbors who won't speak because they don't feel valued enough to do so. They are here today because they are not disposable. And we believe in you, and we believe in your care, and we believe that you will do the right thing. So please, trust the order as it was written, and trust this team, and trust your unanimous decision, and please uphold the order. We have been asking for 18 months to hear us and help us. You truly are our only hope. I want to share with you these Christmas cards from 2 years ago. We were asking our city councilors to help us. We couldn't make a traditional happy card, but we did turn it into art. We're still asking for the same thing today. So thank you, Courtney. And thank you everyone who came out who did